You're bedridden most days. You've lost your job. You're about to lose your house. You can barely take care of yourself. You apply for disability benefits because that's what they're for, right? People who can't work due to medical conditions. Your application is denied, not disabled enough. You appeal. Gather more medical evidence. Wait months. Denied again. You get a hearing. Sit in front of a judge who's never met you, never seen your worst days, never lived in your body. Denied again. 3 years later, you're homeless, living with family who resents you, or dead. But hey, the system worked exactly as designed, because the disability system isn't designed to help people who can't work. It's designed to deny as many people as possible for as long as possible, hoping you'll give up or die before they have to pay you. Today, we're exposing the disability industrial complex, how it works, who it's designed to exclude, and why chronic pain patients are systematically denied. Welcome to Painfully Real. Today we're tackling the system that's supposed to be a safety net, but functions more like a trap door. This is going to make you angry. It should. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Social Security, disability insurance, and supplemental security income are designed with denial as the default. The process typically goes like this. Stage 1. Initial application. You submit extensive paperwork documenting your condition. 60–70% of initial applications are denied. Average processing time, 3 to 6 months. Most denials include minimal explanation. Stage 2. Reconsideration. You appeal the denial with the same agency that just denied you. A different person reviews the same information. 80–90% of reconsiderations are denied, another 3 to 6 months gone. Stage 3. Administrative law judge hearing. You request a hearing before a judge. Wait time, 12–24 months in most areas. You finally get to present your case in person. 50–60% are still denied at this stage. Stage 4. Appeals counsel. You appeal to the appeals counsel. They mostly deny reviews or uphold denials. Another 12–18 months. Stage 5. Federal court. Your last option is federal court. Requires an attorney. More months or years. Most cases never get here because people give up or die. Do the math. From initial application to final decision can take 3 to 5 years or more. Meanwhile, you have no income, no health care, savings depleted, possibly homeless. Here's the impossible standard. You need to prove you can't do any work, not just your previous job, not just jobs in your field, any work that exists in the national economy. The standard is, are you unable to engage in any substantial gainful activity due to a medically determinable physical or mental impairment that has lasted or is expected to last at least 12 months or result in death? Sounds reasonable until you realize what it means in practice. You can't walk without excruciating pain? Well, there are sedentary jobs. You can't sit for long periods. There are jobs where you can alternate sitting and standing. You have severe cognitive fog. There are simple, repetitive jobs that don't require much thinking. The system finds theoretical jobs you might be able to do even if those jobs don't actually exist in your area. Even if no employer would hire you in your condition. Even if you couldn't maintain employment due to unpredictable flares. Even if the pay would be below poverty level anyway. You need extensive medical evidence, but getting that evidence is expensive and you have no income. You need recent doctor visits, but you can't afford copays. Specialist evaluations, months-long waits, expensive. Diagnostic testing, insurance might not cover it. Detailed treatment records showing you've tried everything. Statements from doctors, many won't write them. If you can't work, you likely don't have health insurance. If you don't have insurance, you can't afford medical care. If you can't afford medical care, you don't have medical evidence. If you don't have medical evidence, you're denied. It's designed to be impossible. If you can do anything, you're not disabled enough. Can you dress yourself? Then you can do personal care tasks. Can you prepare simple meals? Then you have daily living skills. Can you go to doctor appointments? Then you can leave your house and follow a schedule. The bar is set so low it's underground. As long as you're not literally comatose, there's theoretically some job somewhere you could do. At ALJ hearings, a vocational expert testifies about jobs you could allegedly do. These experts pull jobs from outdated databases, jobs that barely exist anymore, jobs that no real employer would give to someone in your condition. Example: based on your limitations, you could work as a document preparer, charge account clerk, or surveillance system monitor. Never mind that these jobs might not exist in your state. They've been automated away. Employers won't hire someone with your absenteeism risk. The pay is poverty level. The vocational expert says jobs exist. The judge rules you could do them. Denied. Chronic pain is largely subjective. You can't prove it with a blood test. Imaging often looks normal. The system treats this as your problem, not a limitation of medical science. If objective testing doesn't show severe abnormalities, your pain must not be that bad. Judges say things like, "Your reported pain levels are inconsistent with the medical evidence." Translation: I don't believe you because I can't see proof. The system requires objective proof of a subjective experience, which is, by definition, impossible. If you have any good days, any periods of functioning, any activities you can still do, it's used against you. The judge sees you walked into the hearing after preparing for days and barely making it. Decision: claimant demonstrated ability to ambulate and sit through a 1-hour hearing. Your medical records mention you went to your kid's school event. Decision: claimant is able to attend social functions. You posted a photo on social media from a good hour on a good day. Decision: claimant appears to maintain active social life. Variable symptoms, the hallmark of many chronic conditions, are treated as proof you're not really disabled. Because if you can do something sometimes, you should be able to do it all the time. Chronic pain is one of the hardest conditions to get disability approval for. Here's why the system fails pain patients specifically. Social Security has a listing of impairments, conditions that automatically qualify as disabling if they meet specific criteria. Chronic pain disorders are barely represented. Fibromyalgia wasn't officially recognized until 2012, and even now, proving it requires jumping through extensive hoops. Complex regional pain syndrome, chronic daily migraines, nonspecific chronic pain, these don't have clear listings. So you have to prove disability through the harder medical vocational route. Because pain is subjective, judges make credibility determinations. Basically, they decide whether they believe you're in as much pain as you say. Factors that harm your credibility: you smiled or appeared comfortable during the hearing. You don't take strong opioid medications. If you can manage without them, it must not be that bad. You do take strong opioid medications. You're probably drug seeking. You engage in any activities. If you can do that, you can work. You don't engage in activities. You're isolating yourself, which suggests depression, not physical limitations. See the problem? There's no right answer. Judges use credibility assessments to deny based on gut feeling rather than evidence. You must show you've tried extensive treatment and it hasn't worked. But if you haven't tried opioids, you haven't exhausted treatment options. If you have tried opioids, you might be accused of drug seeking. If you haven't tried physical therapy, injections, alternative treatments, surgery, you haven't done enough. If you have tried everything and nothing works, maybe pain isn't your real problem. Maybe it's psychological. The standard is impossible. You must try everything, have everything fail, but still not be too disabled to keep trying new things. Chronic pain often causes depression and anxiety. This is well documented, but the causation can be used against you. Scenario 1. Your limitations are primarily due to depression, not pain. With mental health treatment, you could work. Scenario 2. You haven't adequately treated your mental health conditions, so we can't determine what your limitations would be with proper treatment. Either way, your pain is minimized and your denial is justified. Judges and decision makers assess based on appearance. If you don't look disabled, you're not. You're expected to appear sick enough to be believable, but not so sick that they question why you're at the hearing. One applicant was denied partially because she appeared well-groomed. Taking care of your appearance means you're not that disabled. Another was denied because he didn't appear to be in significant distress. Because apparently you need to be writhing in agony during your hearing to be believed. Here's a cruel irony. If you work successfully for years before becoming disabled, it's used against you. Claimant has demonstrated capacity for sustained work activity. Current allegations of inability to work are not credible. The fact that you were functional before chronic pain is treated as evidence that you should still be functional now, as if conditions don't develop or worsen over time. If you're under 50, you're presumed capable of adapting to different work. Social Security literally has age categories that affect your case. Under 50, younger person, expected to adapt to any work. 50-54, approaching advanced age, slightly easier standard. 55 plus, advanced age, easier to prove disability, same pain, same limitations, different age, different outcome. A 35-year-old with severe chronic pain is denied because they're still young enough to retrain for sedentary work. That same person at 55 might be approved with identical medical evidence. The system literally says, suffer for 20 more years, then we'll help you. The multi-year wait for a decision doesn't happen in a vacuum. Real life continues while the system grinds slowly. The moment you can't work, income stops, but bills don't. Rent, mortgage, utilities, food, car payments, insurance, medical expenses. With no income, everything collapses quickly. Lose your job, lose your health insurance, unless you can afford COBRA, which costs hundreds or thousands per month. Without insurance, you can't afford doctor visits needed for your disability application, medications that manage your condition, physical therapy or other treatments, diagnostic tests the judge will want to see. So your condition worsens while you wait, which might actually help your disability case. You're getting worse, but at the cost of your actual health. If you have any savings, they're gone within months. Between medical expenses, basic living costs, and having zero income, savings evaporate fast. And here's the cruel part. For SSI, you can't have more than $2,000 in assets to qualify. So if you've been responsible and saved money, you must deplete it to poverty level before you can get help. Can't pay rent or mortgage? You become housing insecure or homeless. Some people move in with family, creating resentment and strain on relationships. Some end up in shelters, some live in cars, all while trying to navigate a complex legal process that requires a stable mailing address for correspondence, phone access for calls from SSA or attorneys, transportation to medical appointments and hearings, ability to maintain hygiene and appearance for hearings. Homelessness makes winning your disability case even harder. Financial strain destroys relationships. Spouses become sole breadwinners, building resentment. You become financially dependent, losing equality in the relationship. Arguments about money become constant. Many marriages don't survive the disability application process. Bills you can't pay go to collections. Credit score tanks. Future financial stability is compromised even if you eventually get approved. With no income and mounting debt, people make desperate choices. Taking on debt they can't repay. Selling possessions to survive. Skipping medications to afford food. Avoiding medical care because they can't afford it. Harming their disability case. Attempting to work when they shouldn't, which is used to deny their claim. If you're eventually approved, you get back pay from the date you became disabled. Sounds good, right? Except you had to survive for years without it first. A huge chunk goes to attorney fees, 25% up to a cap. It arrives as a lump sum, which people often spend desperately on years of accumulated debt. It can disqualify you from other benefits temporarily. You're taxed on it, so the back pay is rarely the salvation it seems. You almost certainly need an attorney to win a disability case, but even that system is problematic. The process is so complex that representing yourself is nearly impossible. You need someone who understands SSA rules and procedures, knows how to develop medical evidence, can cross-examine vocational experts, understands what judges look for, can present your case effectively. Without an attorney, approval rates are significantly lower. Disability attorneys work on contingency. They get paid only if you win, taking 25% of your back pay up to a maximum, currently $7,200. This sounds fair until you realize you're giving up thousands of dollars you desperately need. The cap means attorneys prefer cases with higher back pay amounts. Cases that will be harder to win might not be taken. If your case is too complex, too weak, or the potential back pay is too low, attorneys may refuse it, so the people who need the most help often can't get representation. Many disability law firms operate like mills. They take hundreds of cases, process them with minimal individualized attention, and make money through volume. You might meet with an attorney once, then never see them again. A paralegal handles everything until the hearing. At the hearing, an attorney who barely knows your case presents it. Sometimes SSA offers a partially favorable decision. You're disabled, but from a later date than you claimed. This means less back pay. Your attorney gets less money, but fighting it means more time, more uncertainty. Some attorneys pressure clients to accept partial decisions because they want their fees sooner. Even if you win, the victory comes with significant strings attached. The average SSDI payment is around $1,500 per month. SSI is even less, about $943 per month. This is supposed to replace your income and cover all your living expenses. Can you live on $500 per month? Pay rent, utilities, food, transportation, medical expenses, everything? Most people can't, so they remain in poverty even with benefits. If approved for SSDI, you get Medicare, but not until 24 months after your disability onset date. So even with approval, you might wait years for healthcare coverage. During that gap, you're still uninsured or paying for expensive marketplace insurance. If you try to work and earn more than the SGA amount, currently around $1,150 per month, you lose benefits. There are work incentive programs, but they're complex and temporary. The message is clear: stay disabled or lose everything. There's no gradual pathway back to work. No support for partial work capacity. You're either 100% disabled and get benefits, or you're working and get nothing. SSI recipients can't have more than $2,000 in assets. This means you can't save for emergencies. You can't build wealth. You must remain in poverty to keep benefits. Any inheritance or gift money must be spent down immediately. You're locked into permanent poverty. SSA periodically reviews your case to ensure you're still disabled. This creates ongoing anxiety. Will they take it away? Do I need to prove I'm still sick? Some people have benefits terminated during reviews and have to fight all over again. Living on disability benefits comes with stigma. People assume you're lazy, gaming the system, choosing not to work. They don't understand that you fought for years to get help you desperately needed and now receive barely enough to survive. The judgment is constant and demoralizing. Understanding why the system is broken doesn't fix it, but it's important context. Every person denied saves the government money. Every year of delay saves money. The system has a financial incentive to deny as many people as possible for as long as possible. Politicians campaign on cracking down on disability fraud. Actual fraud rates are tiny, less than 1%. But the narrative that people are gaming the system justifies making it harder for everyone. The Social Security Disability Insurance Trust Fund has solvency concerns. Rather than address funding through taxes or policy changes, the government makes it harder to access benefits. Deny more people equals preserve the fund longer. SSA is understaffed and underfunded. The backlog of cases is enormous. Rather than increase resources, the system just operates slowly and denies aggressively. The system was designed for visible, obvious disabilities, missing limbs, paralysis, terminal illness. Invisible illnesses like chronic pain don't fit the model. The system hasn't adapted, so it fails these patients. Individual judges have enormous power. Their personal biases, understanding of chronic pain, and tolerance for subjective evidence vary wildly. Your approval might depend more on which judge you get than on your actual disability. Some judges approve 80% of cases, others approve less than 20%. Same evidence, different outcomes based on random assignment. The disability system is not broken by accident. It's working exactly as designed, to deny as many people as possible, for as long as possible, hoping they give up or die before having to pay them. If you're in this system right now, fighting for benefits you desperately need, you're not imagining how hard it is, you're not doing something wrong. The system is designed to break you. The cruelty is the point, but you're not alone. Millions of people are fighting the same battle, and some of them win. Keep documentation, get an attorney if you can, appeal every denial, don't give up, and know that if you're eventually denied, it doesn't mean you're not disabled, it means the system failed you, not the other way around. Thank you for listening to Painfully Real. If you're fighting for disability right now, I see you. I believe you. Keep fighting. Share this episode with anyone navigating this nightmare. They need to know they're not alone. I'll see you next time.